Good
Hi,
morning.
everyone.
Chelsea and Liv here with you in Helena this morning. On time this week for a change from last week. So we've got a few things to visit with you guys about. As you're jumping on this morning, leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. And as always, please feel free to post questions or comments in the comment section. We love talking back and forth with you guys while we're here with you a little bit this morning. And Liv's going to start us off with a few bills from this week.
Yeah, so it was a relatively slow week, but Tuesday was pretty busy. We had 3 bills that we were able to support in House Ag that I wanted to shed a little light on. So the first one was House Bill 50, introduced by Representative Joel Crowder from over in the Sydney area. This bill would provide the department the ability to administer civil penalties for violations or non-compliance of warehouse commodity and dealer laws. So currently, anyone who sells more than $30,000 worth of commodities is a dealer, and anyone who stores commodities for another is a warehouse. So both commodity dealers and warehouses are subject to licensing and other requirements such as bonding and providing financial documents. And if they were to violate or non-comply with those laws, right now they are subject to a criminal penalty, and if proven guilty, a felony. And the department's only way of administering that and providing accountability is by revoking their license. Now, the issue with that, there's a couple issues. First, a lot of these cases aren't being heard in the criminal court system, so the accountability is lacking on that front. Second, with the only ability from the department to revoke the license, that also it makes all of the contracts that they've already been put into invalidated. So sometimes that's in the middle of the growing season, and we don't want that. So our policy supports the department's ability to administer civil penalties instead. We were a little concerned because the max civil penalty that's in this bill language is $100,000, but we worked with the department and got to see a few of the penalty and their corresponding fine, and we supported that. We think this provides better accountability for our growers, and we trust that the contracts they're entering with warehouses and dealers will be honored. So the other bill, also that one passed as of yesterday, so that's exciting. The other one that we did was House Bill 76. Now this bill allows the department to provide mediation and arbitration services for agriculture-related conflicts. In 2016, the Department of Agriculture was provided with a grant that allowed them to do that, but only for USDA-related decisions. So with the newest Farm Bill, that grant was expanded to cover a far broader base of conflicts. So our policy supports that. Our members are now able to, if this were to pass, we're able to work with the department on any ag conflicts that they have, whether that's estate planning or neighbor-to-neighbor conflicts. So this is just another service that the department can provide to our members without costing them additional resources because of this grant. They already have 6 staff personnel that are cross-trained in mediation, so we're excited to see this program go forward. The other bill that we heard in House Ag on Tuesday was House Bill 151. House Bill 151 raises the maximum annual assessment on wheat and barley. So the legislature has the ability to set that cap, whereas the Wheat and Barley Committee has the ability to set where that assessment is at. The Montana Wheat and Barley Committee is currently at that max, so they are just coming in requesting an additional on that cap because they're at that cap right now and it hasn't been raised in 13 years. So that was widely supported by industry, supported by the department, and I've heard that that one has passed as well, but that's not up on the website, so stay tuned.
In other committee hearings yesterday in Senate Agriculture, we testified on Senate Bill 131. And Senate Bill 131 is being carried by Senator Bruce Gillespie, and it has to do with eligibility to receive reimbursement through the Livestock Loss Board. most of you are probably familiar, but the Livestock Loss Board is administratively attached to the Department of Livestock, and it is the mechanism that we use to provide reimbursement to livestock producers who lose livestock to predation of grizzly bears, wolves, and mountain lions. And the Livestock Loss Board in the last year, in tracking the amount of payments and reimbursement that they paid out to qualifying livestock owners who had suffered predation by one of those 3 qualified predators, over a quarter of those people had not paid their per capita fees. Per capita fees are a self-reported fee that livestock producers are to pay annually to the Department of Livestock. It goes to the Department of Livestock, but you pay it to Department of Revenue, and you receive, in fact, the little green card should be arriving in people's desks and on your in your mail right now. And so you will pay your per capita fee you can send in a check or you can pay online now. There is a method for paying online. So Senate Bill 131 puts into statute that if a producer has not paid the previous year's per capita fee, they are not eligible to receive Livestock Loss Board monies for their predation losses. Montana Farm Bureau supported this supported this bill yesterday. We believe that, it is the due diligence of our livestock industry to make sure we're supporting the services that help safeguard our industry in this state. And per capita dollars are critically important to the Department of Livestock's budget for other predator control measures, for animal health and monitoring reasons, for brand inspection and animal transportation reasons. And there's also a serious public health component to all of that as well, because the Department of Livestock uses per capita dollars to track anything that is a zoonotic disease or could cause a public health risk in the state of Montana. So per capita dollars are used wide and far in the department, and they benefit the industry as a whole. So we support adding that qualification to state law. Secondly, it provides a very cut and dried mechanism, if you will, for the Livestock Loss Board to determine whether or not to award reimbursements. Because first and foremost, their number one priority when reviewing a grant application is to determine whether or not that individual is a confirmed livestock owner. The easiest way for them to confirm if somebody is a livestock owner is to check that they have paid their per capita fee. So this is a real streamlined way for them to do that, and also to help motivate other people to make sure you're responding to those little green cards that, if they haven't already, will be showing up in your mailbox. That bill was heard yesterday in Senate Ag. We predict it's going to come out of there with no problems. There will be one slight amendment to the bill that just is a simple clarification. The language was clear, but maybe it was slightly convoluted. So the bill sponsor, as well as myself and a couple other industry representatives, kind of simplified that sentence and essentially are just going to say you're not eligible to receive a Livestock Loss Board payment if you have not paid the previous year's per capita fee. Period. End of sentence. So we'll keep you posted on how that progresses through the session. As Liv mentioned, this week was off to a pretty slow start, which is not the typical normal pace here in Helena. We're not used to that at all, especially considering there's, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of over 3,000 bill drafts that have been dropped into, have been requested by legislators. And, only probably a few hundred of those bills have even been introduced at this point. So we know that pace probably isn't going to maintain. In fact, just looking at our schedule for next week, we're already seeing a crack in the dam, so to speak, and things are beginning to move. Things are beginning to get scheduled. And next week already, we've got a busier week lined up. Next week, too, we'll be welcoming our young farmer and ranchers to town for their Calling on the Capitol. So we're excited to host that group next Thursday and Friday. We've got some fun stuff planned. And also, one other thing I'll throw out for you, fun fact, if you want to tune into it, it'll be probably streamed live and also broadcast on local TV. But next week, Governor Bullock on Thursday, January 24th, will be giving his State of the State address, which is always an interesting thing to listen to and to hear from the second floor in the Capitol and hear from the administration's perspective on what they hope to see and forecast for the legislative session. So that's an FYI for anybody who wants to tune in.
Thursday the 31st.
Oh yeah, whoops. That's not updated
we don't know what
yet.
Day everything is.
It's the 31st next week, Thursday the 31st. And if you're just joining us, thanks for watching this morning. We've recapped a few bills. Liv talked about some Department of Agriculture bills that were heard in House Ag this week, and things are moving along quickly. Those were all fairly straightforward, simple bills. They were requested by the department, and so everybody was essentially on the same page going into it, and we always love those types of committee hearings. So let us know if you've got any questions about a specific piece of legislation or something you've been hearing about in the news. Let us know who's watching. I saw Don Steinbeiser said he's watching from Costa Rica. Where are you in Costa Rica? This is neither here nor there, but we honeymooned in Costa Rica and had a phenomenal time. So I hope you're having a great time because we love that country. It was a really great experience and also way, way warmer than it is in Montana right now. So you should stay there for as long as you possibly can. One other thing that we're going to run through, we thought would be a helpful quick tutorial for everybody on Facebook Live this morning is we wanted to walk you through a couple resources that are available for you guys to use to either contact your legislator or to just track bill and committee hearing processes and schedules. So it'll take me just a second to get the computer scooted, so hang tight with us. Hopefully we won't drop you guys on your heads as we scooch stuff around here, and then we'll walk you through those steps. Okay, just go ahead and flip.
Oh, that would work too.
Sorry, you're getting a little fuzzy. It's a real close-up on my face. Sorry, everybody. You're welcome. Okay. So I hope everybody can see that all right. We're looking here at what is the homepage of the Montana Legislative Branch. It is, I know that's a little bit small for everybody to see, but it's just leg.mt.gov. That's an important website for you to know if you're interested in all things legislative. So, real quickly here, a couple things about this website. There's a lot of information available on this website. I'm not going to go through all of it with you this morning. If you see something in this tutorial that you want more information on or you have a question about how to navigate, please leave a comment and I would be glad to answer that. Also, if you don't already, be sure to follow the MFBF blog because Monday I will be posting the steps and a tutorial to do exactly what I'm doing here. So you can either come back and watch this video or you can check it out on the blog later next week. So the first thing you can do, there's a couple options to navigate to almost anything. So this is the home page. You have all of these drop-down menus up here that you can toggle through and play with, and a lot of them will take you to the same place eventually. So you've got bill information, lookup. These are current. This takes you to the current Montana Code annotated. Legislators, if you want to find a legislator, you can look for information on the House, information on the Senate. Watch and listen is a great button. I will show you that one really quickly. So watch and listen takes you to, I'm going to straighten this out just a little bit, takes you to the list of all of the committee hearings or Senate and House floor sessions that you can watch. I know this is a little bit small on the screen. I'm not sure if you can see it, but for example, this morning was the House Judiciary Committee. Now this will tell you this was just the audio only. So you can listen to this while it's live in progress, or you can come back and watch it once it's over. Here was another one. This was Senate Business, Labor, and Economic Affairs. This was this morning as well. They may still be in progress. This one is a video. So there's a lot of great information there, and you guys can watch committee hearings from whatever corner of the state you happen to be in. So if you want to look up a bill, a specific bill, you can do that two ways. You can click on the drop down that says Laws and Bills and click on the Bill Information and Lookup tab, or you can simply scroll down a ways on this home page and click this Find a Bill link. And then that takes you to this page right here. And there are a couple ways you can find a bill. Right here is you can search by bill type and number. So you would search House Bill 50 and click enter. This takes you to the page that gives you all of the bill information. So this here will, right here it says current bill text, and you can click on this, which is a PDF, and it takes you directly to the bill and shows you the bill in its entirety. It tells you the title of the bill, tells you the bill sponsor, and also if the bill has a fiscal note, meaning there's going to be a financial impact to the state by this bill. So that is also a link. You can click on that and see what those fiscal notes say. The primary sponsor here is Representative Crowder. It tells you that information. And then this table here is basically the bill's diary. And it tells you from the time that it was requested to the most current progress this bill has made. So this bill was heard down here in the House Agriculture Committee on January 22nd. On January 24th, so yesterday, the committee took executive action and passed the bill out of committee unanimously, so 17-0. So now, probably sometime next week, this bill will get scheduled for hearing on the House floor. So that's how you look up a bill by type and number. You can search for Senate bills, you can search resolutions, all sorts of things. If a bill is not yet introduced, and meaning it still has an LC number, which is what bills are given when they are first requested before they actually are introduced and given a bill number, you can usually look those up too. So we'll just use the example they have there, and it'll search. And you're not always going to be able to find bill text here. Sometimes that's not yet available on the website, but it will tell you some information about the bill. So here it tells you the draft is on hold. That means the bill sponsor has gone to the drafter and said, yeah, I'm actually maybe not going to have this bill heard right now, so you can go ahead and put it on the back burner. This tells you who the requester was. So this was by Senator Jim Keene, and it tells you who the drafter is. So just some helpful information there as well. Also, if you just want to, say, for example, keep tabs on your local legislator, you can come down here. Let me scroll down so our comments aren't covering us up. You can scroll down and search by legislator from this drop-down menu, and that will give you a list of all of the bills that legislator is carrying. Or you can search by subject. So here we have agriculture, there's taxes, there's water, basically any subject you could possibly search, and it will pull up a list of bills that meet the criteria of that subject. So this is how you search for a bill. The other useful, maybe most useful thing I'll show you is how to look up a committee hearing schedule. So again, there are two ways to do this. You can select this committee's drop down, and then you want to, if you do this, you want to select session. And then you can navigate through more information there. We're just going to click, again, this is the homepage of leg.mt.gov. You scroll down, select committees and hearings. So we're taken to another page that looks like this, and you have two options again. You can either search by committee name, so House Agriculture is at the very top. We'll just do that as an example. And this shows you all of the bills that have been heard in the House Agriculture Committee to date. So starting on January 10th was the first time they met, up through next Thursday. So they have some that are scheduled for next week available too. And again, it tells you the committee hearing time. This committee always meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and usually in the same exact room. Again, you can click on the specific bill number. You can find the text right here, tells you who the sponsor is. And then if you scroll down to the bottom of that page, it tells you who the members of that committee are. So if you're looking to contact a specific member of that committee or the chair of that committee, you could click on Representative Shaw's name and it would take you to his contact information. So if you want to find out what a specific committee has been up to, that's how you do that. If you just want to find out what is being heard next week for the whole week in Helena, you search by a date range. So we'll just search next week as a quick example. Search the whole week. Yes, we're okay with that. And this gives you the entire bill schedule, committee hearing schedule for the whole week in the legislature. So this has all of the committees on it, what they're scheduled to hear, room number, committee information. So that's very helpful too. So those are two pretty important components of the law's website. Like I said, there's a lot more to that website. If anybody has any questions, get a hold of Liv or I, and we would be really happy to help walk you through anything. If you're just joining us, we are wrapping up our discussion of bills this morning and walking through a couple quick tutorials to help you guys find information about the legislative session. So the last thing I want to show you is on our very own MFBF website at mfbf.org. Many of you may be familiar with the software we use to communicate with members about important priority issues. That software is called Voter Voice. You can also, within that software, use it to send a message to your legislator. So we're going to start here at the home page, which is just mfbf.org. We're going to go ahead and click on this Policy and Advocacy tab. We will scroll down so you guys can see this over the comments. And then over here on the left-hand side, we're going to select that Voter Voice link. Now there's two things that I would ask you guys to do. So we currently don't have any action alert campaigns for members to respond to, but if you want to get an email when Liv or I create an action alert, if we've got a really important topic that we need communication to legislators on quickly, then we'll send out an action alert via an email. So this is important for you to enter your email and enter a zip code. Just click this arrow and you will be signed up to receive those email alerts. When you receive that email alert, it's as simple as clicking on the link in your email body and responding, toggling through. It's usually just a series of clicking. We ask you to add some information to what we've already prepared, and it sends it automatically to your legislator because you have entered your zip code right here. So it's a really slick, really helpful system, and we just want to make sure all our members are signed up for that. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and find your own politicians, we're going to use the office's zip code. So you enter your zip code, you click that arrow. Oh,
Since
whoops.
There's multiple, it'll have you ask for an address.
Yep, sometimes it will ask you to enter an address. That'll take you to another page, and it gives you your federal officials, it lists out, and your state officials. So you have the ability then to scroll through these guys, and you could send a message to President Trump if you wanted to. Scroll down here, the local representatives are Senator Pat Flowers and Representative Zach Brown. So if you wanted to send one or both of them a message, you would simply make sure the box is checked and click Compose Message. On the next page, you would enter your subject, what you're emailing them about, a specific bill, number, and title. Probably is what you would use, and then enter the message of your email, and then you've just got to enter your information and click Send Message. So that's a really helpful tool if anybody is trying to navigate how to contact your legislator. That's all we've got on the tutorials for you guys. Is there any questions? I'll flip it back around here as we wrap up. Any questions about any of that for Liv or I? Any questions about either of any of the bill updates that we spoke about this week? I gave a quick update on Senate Bill 131, which will require that livestock producers have paid the previous year's per capita fee before they are eligible to receive reimbursement funds from the Livestock Loss Board. And Liv gave a couple other updates.
Yeah, I updated you all on House Bill 50, which allows the department to administer civil penalties for any violations of commodity dealer or warehouse laws. We also talked about House Bill 76, which allows the department to provide mediation services for any egg-related disputes across the state, and gave a brief update on House Bill 151, which raises the maximum annual assessment for the wheat and barley committee. Now, the one thing I'll note with that is they are only raising the cap. The Montana Wheat and Barley Committee still retains the ability to set that assessment wherever they feel appropriate to fund foreign and domestic marketing research, any other applicable research. So that's just the cap that they have been raising.
All right. I don't see any other questions popping up. As always, if you have anything that pops up over the week, you can always send us an email, post a comment on this video. We do watch these throughout the week. And we will sign off until next week. We'll have a lot more to report on next week. Next week's a busier week than we've had. So thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.